Ambassador James Miller stood at the large viewing window of the Galactic Council chamber, his hands clasped tightly behind his back. The massive space station orbited the neutral world of New Haven, its crystalline structures gleaming under the light of 3 suns. Below him, 200 alien representatives argued about Earth's fate, their voices rising in a cacophony of translated speech. He knew what was coming. They all did. The council speaker, a tall being with silver skin, raised all 4 of his arms for silence. The chamber grew quiet, and Miller felt his heart sink. 20 years of diplomatic service had taught him to read alien body language well enough to know this wasn't going to end well. The council has reached its decision, the speaker announced, his words automatically translated for all present. Earth and its colonies are hereby placed under immediate quarantine. All human ships must return to their solar system within 30 standard days. Any human vessel found outside the quarantine zone after this period will be considered hostile and dealt with accordingly. Miller stepped forward. On what grounds? Earth has followed every regulation, paid every fee, and contributed significantly to galactic peace. The speaker's silver skin rippled with what Miller recognized as contempt. The council has reviewed extensive evidence showing that humans are too unpredictable and violent for continued interaction with civilized species. Your recent military buildup, the buildup you authorized. Miller interrupted, his face reddening. After the border war with the pirates, you specifically granted Earth permission to increase its defense fleet. Within reasonable limits, a reptilian delegate hissed from the upper tiers. Your species has exceeded those limits by 300%. Miller fought to keep his voice steady. Those numbers are wrong, and you know it. We've submitted to every inspection, provided all requested documentation. Documentation that has been proven falsified. The speaker cut in. We have evidence from multiple sources. From his position on the speaking floor, Miller could see the smug expressions on several council members' faces. The Proxima representative particularly caught his attention. The blue-skinned alien was trying hard to suppress what humans would call a smile. That's when Miller understood. This wasn't a trial. It was an execution. He activated his neural implant, sending a single coded burst to Earth Command. Protocol Omega confirmed. The speaker continued listing humans' supposed crimes against galactic civilization, but Miller had stopped listening. His attention was on the massive holographic display showing the Council's enforcement fleet moving into position around Earth's solar system. 50 massive warships, each capable of destroying a small moon, arranged themselves in a blockade formation. The Council really thought they were being thorough. Miller almost felt sorry for them. Almost. Ambassador Miller, the speaker's voice cut through his thoughts. Does Earth wish to make a final statement before the quarantine is enacted? Miller walked to the center of the chamber, feeling the eyes of 200 alien species upon him. He took a deep breath and spoke clearly, making sure every word was properly translated. Humanity joined this council in good faith. We share our art, our music, our culture. We fought alongside you against pirates and smugglers. We opened our markets to your goods. We trusted you. He paused, looking directly at the Proxima representative. That trust was misplaced. The chamber erupted in murmurs as Miller continued. We know about the secret meetings. We know how certain council members have been systematically undermining Earth's position for years. We know which of you sold weapons to the pirates during the border war. The Proxima representative's blue skin turned pale. Several other delegates shifted uncomfortably in their seats. You think you're containing a primitive violent species. You think your technology is superior, your defenses impenetrable, your position unassailable. Miller smiled, but there was no warmth in it. You're wrong on all counts. The speaker's silver skin flickered with anger. Are you threatening this council, Ambassador? Threatening? Miller shook his head. No. I'm informing you that Earth officially rejects your quarantine, your authority, and your jurisdiction. What happens next isn't a threat. He turned and walked toward the chamber's exit, stopping at the doorway to deliver one final message. It's a promise. Behind him, the council erupted into chaos. Above Earth, the enforcement fleet's commanders were about to learn exactly how wrong their intelligence about human military capabilities had been. The revenge of Earth was about to begin. Admiral Kate Stone sat in the command chair of her outdated vessel, the EDS Vengeance, watching the Council enforcement fleet through her viewport. The alien ships looked impressive, their hulls gleaming with advanced energy shielding that made them sparkle like stars. All ships reporting ready, Admiral, her communications officer said. Earth defense grid is fully activated. Stone nodded, her gray eyes fixed on the tactical display. The Council fleet had arranged themselves in a standard blockade formation, clearly visible against Earth's orbital space. They didn't even try to hide their positions. Why should they? They thought they were dealing with primitives. Send the message, Stone ordered. Let's show them what primitives can do. The message was simple, broadcast on all frequencies in clear text. This is Earth Defense Command. You have 30 seconds to withdraw from Earth space. The Council fleet's response came quickly. Earth vessels, power down your engines and prepare to be escorted to your designated quarantine zones. Stone smiled. Time to activate Protocol Omega. All ships, execute Pattern Black. What happened next would be studied in military academies across the galaxy for centuries to come. The 50 Council warships suddenly found their advanced sensors blocked by what they had dismissed as simple communication satellites. Each of Earth's orbital platforms, thousands of them, activated signal jammers that the Council's tech couldn't pierce. Then the real surprise began. From behind Earth's moon, 300 human warships emerged. Not the clumsy, rocket-powered vessels the Council knew about, but sleek ships with technology that matched or exceeded their own. All vessels, weapons-free, Stone commanded. Show them what those primitive kinetic weapons can do. The Council fleet's commanders barely had time to register their shock. Their ships' energy shields, designed to stop plasma weapons and laser fire, proved useless against Earth's main weapon. Tungsten rods accelerated to near-light speed. The first salvo tore through 6 Council warships like paper. Their mighty shields flickered uselessly as solid metal projectiles, moving at relativistic speeds, turned their hull armor into vapor. Status report, Stone called out, watching the battle unfold. Enemy fleet attempting to regroup, her tactical officer reported. Their shields are adjusting, but it won't help. They can't stop physical objects moving at these speeds. Stone had expected this. The Council races had become so dependent on energy weapons and shields that they'd forgotten the basic physics of kinetic impacts. Humanity, on the other hand, had never stopped improving their primitive projectile weapons. Launch the drones, she ordered. From Earth's surface, thousands of small, unmanned craft shot upward. The Council fleet, still reeling from the kinetic strikes, found themselves surrounded by what looked like metal insects. Each drone carried a simple payload, high explosive charges and more tungsten penetrators. The Council flagship is requesting communication, the comm officer announced. Stone leaned forward in her chair. Put them through. The face that appeared on her screen belonged to the Council fleet's commander, his silver skin now dull with fear. How? This is impossible. Your technology level was a lie, Stone finished for him. Did you really think we'd show you everything we had? That we'd trust the Council after watching how they treated other new species? Another volley of kinetic rounds reduced 3 more Council ships to expanding clouds of debris. The drones moved in perfect formation, herding the remaining alien vessels into a killing zone. Surrender or withdraw, Stone offered. Those are your only options now. The Council commander's image flickered as his ship's systems struggled to maintain communication through the jamming. This is an act of war. The full might of the Council will. Will what? Stone interrupted. Find out that the primitive humans have better ships, better weapons, that we've been watching and learning from your mistakes for decades. She stood up from her command chair. "Look at your tactical display, Commander. Really look." More human ships were appearing, rising from hidden bases on Mars and Europa. The Council fleet was now outnumbered 5-1, their supposed technological advantage proven worthless. "You have 10 seconds to decide," Stone said calmly. "Withdraw or surrender. After that, we stop being nice." The Council fleet broke formation, their ships turning to flee toward the system's edge. They left behind 13 destroyed vessels and Earth's message. Humanity was done playing by the Council's rules. In her command chair, Admiral Stone opened a channel to Earth Command. Phase 1 complete, ready to begin Phase 2. The real war was just beginning. General Robert Ward stood in Earth's primary defense center, deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. Around him, massive holographic displays showed the Council's panicked response to their fleet's defeat. Their emergency broadcasts filled the monitoring stations, each message more alarming than the last. "Sir," a young technician called out, "the Council's main military base on Centauri Prime is requesting immediate reinforcements. They're afraid they're next." "They should be," Ward muttered. He turned to his second-in-command. "Begin Phase 3. Show them everything." Across the solar system, hidden facilities began to power up. Bases that even most of Earth's military didn't know existed revealed themselves. The moon's dark side lit up with previously invisible shipyards. Mars's polar caps split open to reveal massive weapon factories. Even Mercury's scorched surface concealed human engineering at its finest. In the command center, Ward activated the main communication screen. The faces of Earth's hidden weapon development teams appeared, each ready to unveil what they'd been working on in secret for the past 30 years. "Dr. Anderson, you're first," Ward said. "Show them what we learned from their own technology." The lead scientist nodded and pressed a button. In orbit around Jupiter, a massive ring structure began to glow. The Council had always assumed it was a failed mining operation. They were wrong. "The gravity manipulation device is online," Anderson reported. "Using their own designs, we've improved it by roughly 300%. We can now control the gravity of any object within 1 light-year." Ward nodded. "Dr. Lee, your turn." Another scientist stepped forward. Behind her, a swarm of what looked like silver dust activated near Saturn. "Our nanite weapons are ready, based on the medical technology they shared with us, but repurposed. These can disassemble any known Council alloy in seconds." One by one, Earth's hidden projects revealed themselves. Each one took alien technology that the Council had thought safe to share and improved it far beyond its original capabilities. "Sir," the young technician's voice was urgent now. "Massive Council data breach detected. Our AI systems have broken through their final firewalls." This was what Ward had been waiting for. While the Council had banned artificial intelligence, claiming it was too dangerous, humanity had simply hidden their AI development. Now, thousands of human-made AI systems were tearing through the Council's networks, exposing every secret, every lie, every hidden agenda. "Main screen," Ward ordered. "Let's see what our digital friends found." The central display filled with data. Secret meetings where Council members plotted against Earth. Weapons sold to pirates to test human defenses. Deliberate sabotage of human diplomatic efforts. Every betrayal, every manipulation, exposed for all to see. "Send it all," Ward commanded. "Every alien species needs to see this." The command center hummed with activity as Earth's hidden arsenal continued to activate. Stealth ships that could bend light itself, weapons that could target specific genetic codes, defense systems that made Earth's entire solar system virtually impenetrable. "Sir," his second-in-command reported, "we're detecting Council ships jumping in at the edge of the system." Ward smiled. "Right on schedule. Dr. Harris, show them your project." At the edge of the solar system, where the Council ships were appearing, thousands of small objects began to move. The Council had thought they were simply debris, space junk left over from humanity's early space age. They were actually quantum-linked weapon platforms, capable of firing through subspace itself. Distance meant nothing to them. Shields were useless against them. All stations, Ward announced. This is not a drill. Execute final protocol. Show them everything. Across human space, every hidden weapon, every secret project, every advanced technology that humanity had developed came online at once. The Council had thought they were quarantining a primitive species. Instead, they had backed a technological giant into a corner. On his private screen, Ward watched as the Council's reinforcement fleet encountered Earth's quantum weapons. The aliens hadn't even had time to raise their shields before the first ships began to disappear. "Send the message," he ordered. The words that went out were simple. "You thought you were containing us. You were wrong. Now let's discuss the future of the galaxy." "Your move, Council." In the silence that followed, Ward knew the galaxy would never be the same. Humanity's hidden arsenal was hidden no longer, and the Council was about to learn just how badly they had underestimated Earth. Commander Tom West watched his fleet drop out of hyperspace near the Council's largest shipyard at Proxima Station. 300 Earth ships emerged from the void, their black hulls absorbing light rather than reflecting it. The Council's supposedly secret military installation lay before them, its massive construction bays filled with warships under repair after Earth's first strike. "They still haven't upgraded their sensors," West noted with satisfaction. "All ships maintain stealth approach. Let's get nice and close." The human fleet moved forward silently. Their hulls, coated with material reversed engineered from Council stealth technology, made them practically invisible to conventional scans. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "we're detecting 20 defense platforms and about 40 warships. Their shields are up, but they haven't spotted us yet." West nodded. "Execute attack pattern Delta, and send the message to all other strike groups. Begin simultaneous attacks on all targets." Across Council space, 4 other human fleets emerged from hiding. Each one targeted a critical Council military installation. The real size of Earth's space force was finally revealing itself, not the few hundred ships the Council knew about, but thousands that had been hidden in deep space for years. At Proxima Station, West's fleet split into 3 groups. All ships, weapons free. Show them what we can do. The first sign the Council forces had of the attack was when their outer defense platforms simply disappeared, torn apart by weapons they couldn't even detect. By the time their sensors registered the threat, Earth's ships were already among them. "Council vessels are attempting to form a defensive line," the tactical officer reported. "Too late for that," West said. "Deploy the boarding drones." From each Earth ship, swarms of small automated craft launched. These weren't the simple explosive drones from the first battle. These were something much worse, infiltration units carrying Earth's advanced AI systems. The Council, in their fear of artificial intelligence, had left their ships vulnerable to electronic warfare. The drones latched onto enemy vessels, bypassed their firewalls, and began taking control of their systems. "Sir, we're receiving surrender signals from multiple Council ships," communications reported. "Their crews are abandoning vessel." West watched as the massive shipyard's defenses crumbled. Humanity's attack was overwhelming, not through brute force, but through technological superiority in every area that mattered. "Status update from other strike groups," his second-in-command called out. "All targets under attack. Council forces in disarray. Their response time is exactly as predicted." On the main screen, West could see Council ships turning against each other, their systems compromised by Earth's AI. The shipyard's main control center was frantically broadcasting distress signals. "Put me through to the station commander," West ordered. The face that appeared on his screen belonged to a Council admiral, his scaled skin pale with fear. How did you get past our defenses?" "The same way we've been doing everything for the past 30 years, West replied calmly. "We watched, we learned, and we improved. While you thought we were struggling with basic spaceflight, we were building this fleet in secret. More explosions lit up space as Earth's forces methodically destroyed the shipyard's key facilities. The Council Admiral watched helplessly as his command crumbled around him. Your ship construction facilities are lost, West continued. Right now, similar attacks are happening at every major Council military installation. Your ability to wage war is being systematically dismantled. The Council will never surrender to barbarians. The Admiral spat. West smiled. Look at your tactical display. Really look at it. Those ships you're detecting at the edge of your system, that's just the first wave. We have more ships than you have systems to defend. As if to emphasize his point, another human fleet dropped out of hyperspace behind the station. These ships were even larger than the first wave. Earth's true capital ships, kept hidden until now. Surrender the station, West said simply, or we'll take it anyway. Your choice only determines how many of your people survive. The Admiral's shoulders slumped as he realized the truth. The Council's military superiority, maintained for centuries, had been an illusion. While they had grown complacent, humanity had been preparing for this very day. Status update from Earth Command. His communications officer interrupted. All primary targets have been secured. The Council's military infrastructure is crippled. West nodded. Phase 4 was complete. Now it was time for Phase 5. And the Council was about to learn that humanity was just getting started. Maria Gray, Earth's intelligence director, stood in the grand meeting hall of the Centauri Trade Federation. Before her, representatives from 30 younger council races waited nervously. The massive chamber, usually used for ceremonial gatherings, now served as a refuge for those seeking to break away from the council's control. The evidence is clear, Maria said, her voice carrying across the hall. On the massive screens behind her, classified council documents scrolled past. For centuries, the council's founding races have manipulated galactic politics for their own benefit. The alien representatives murmured among themselves as more secrets appeared on screen. Trade agreements rigged against newer species, military technology deliberately kept from developing races, political sabotage of any civilization that showed too much promise. The humans weren't their first targets, Maria continued. We were just the first to fight back effectively. A tall, green-skinned delegate stood up. The Trade Federation stands with Earth. We've suffered under council restrictions for too long. More representatives rose, one after another. The Rigel Alliance, the Vega Confederation, the Outer Rim Worlds, each had their own story of council oppression, their own reasons to want change. Maria's neural implant buzzed with an incoming message. Council emergency session in progress, it reported. Heavy fighting between council members. Everything was proceeding exactly as planned. Your civilizations have all achieved spaceflight, developed advanced technology, and proven yourselves worthy of galactic citizenship, Maria addressed the gathering. Yet the council treats you like children, restricting your growth, limiting your potential. On a secondary screen, she watched the council chamber erupt into chaos. The founding races were turning on each other, each blaming the others for the current crisis. Centuries-old alliances crumbled in minutes. Director Gray, a crystalline being, chimed in, its voice resonating through the translator. What guarantees do we have that Earth won't simply replace the Council as our overlords? Maria had expected this question. Display Treaty Protocol Alpha, she commanded. The screens changed to show a new document. This is our proposal for a new galactic alliance. Equal representation, shared technology, mutual defense. No race holds power over another. The chamber grew quiet as the delegates read through the treaty terms. Maria knew they would find no hidden traps, no subtle mechanisms of control. Earth had learned from the Council's mistakes. We're receiving reports, her aide whispered urgently. The Proxima Centauri delegation has just attacked the Council Speaker's fortress. 3 more founding races have withdrawn from Council space entirely. Maria allowed herself a small smile. The Council's power structure was collapsing faster than even their models had predicted. Centuries of suppressed resentment were finally boiling over. Earth offers you a choice, she announced to the gathered representatives. Not an ultimatum, not a demand, but a genuine choice. Join us in building a better galaxy, or maintain your independence. We will respect either decision. More neural implant updates flashed across her vision. Council military forces were fighting each other now. Their carefully maintained facade of unity had shattered completely. The Arcturus systems formally request alliance with Earth, one delegate announced, standing proudly. The Pleiades network seconds this motion. Another joined in. One by one, the younger races made their choice, not out of fear of Earth's military might, but out of hope for a better future, a future without the Council's corruption and control. Maria's aide rushed forward with another update. Director, the Council speaker has been removed from power. 3 more founding races are requesting emergency negotiations with Earth. Let them wait, Maria replied quietly. She turned back to the gathered delegates. Today marks the beginning of a new era in galactic history, not one of dominance and control, but of cooperation and mutual growth. As she watched the former Council races sign the new alliance treaty, Maria sent a brief message to Earth Command. Phase 5 complete. Political restructuring proceeding ahead of schedule. Ready to begin final phase. The Council had spent centuries building their power structure. Earth had torn it down in days, not through brute force alone, but by offering something the galaxy desperately needed: hope for change. And this was only the beginning. The remaining Council leaders gathered in their last secure fortress, a massive space station hidden in the heart of a nebula. 7 of the original 20 founding races remained loyal to the old order. Their combined fleet, 500 warships strong, represented the Council's final hope. High Admiral Rex of the Council forces stared at the tactical display, his scaled hands clenched into fists. Earth has overextended itself, he declared to the other leaders. Their forces are spread thin, protecting their new allies. Now is the time to strike directly at their homeworld. The Council's emergency war room erupted in agreement. Their best remaining ships, their most advanced weapons, all committed to one desperate attack. They didn't know they were falling into Earth's final trap. In Earth's orbital command station, General Alice Cooper watched the Council fleet's approach on her quantum sensors. The so-called hidden fortress had been under Earth's surveillance for months. They took the bait, she said to her command staff. Activate the orbital defense grid. Show them what those weather satellites really are. Around Earth, thousands of seemingly harmless satellites began to transform. What the Council had dismissed as primitive climate monitoring devices revealed their true nature. Each one split open, revealing arrays of quantum-linked weapons. Council fleet will enter weapons range in 5 minutes, her tactical officer reported. They're charging their main weapons. Cooper nodded. Let them come a bit closer. Wait for my signal. The Council fleet emerged from hyperspace in perfect attack formation. Their ships, gleaming with enhanced shields and upgraded weapons, looked impressive against the backdrop of Earth's blue world. High Admiral Rex's voice boomed across all frequencies. This is your final warning. Surrender to Council authority or face total annihilation. Cooper pressed a button on her command chair. Actually, Admiral, this is yours. Earth's orbital grid activated. What happened next defied the Council's understanding of physics. Each weather satellite created a micro-singularity, tiny black holes that existed for mere seconds. But seconds were all they needed. The Council's front line of ships simply ceased to exist, torn apart by gravitational forces they couldn't comprehend. Their mighty shields, designed to stop energy weapons and kinetic strikes, were useless against the fabric of space itself being twisted around them. Impossible. Rex's voice crackled through the comm. Those are just weather. Did you really think, Cooper interrupted, that humanity would leave its homeworld protected by only simple satellites? Everything you've seen so far. Our ships, our weapons, our technology, was just the surface. The orbital grid fired again. More council ships vanished. Those that tried to retreat found themselves caught in artificial gravity wells, unable to escape. "Sir," Cooper's sensor officer called out. "They're attempting to launch their doomsday weapon." Cooper had expected this too. The Council's final weapon, a massive device capable of triggering a star to go supernova, emerged from their flagship's hull. "Now, Dr. Thompson," Cooper commanded, "show them your life's work." Around Earth, the planet's magnetic field suddenly intensified 1,000,000-fold. The Council had always wondered why Earth maintained such a powerful magnetic field naturally. Now they learned the truth. The entire planet was one massive containment device. Arcs of pure energy, controlled by technology far beyond the Council's understanding, lashed out from Earth's poles. The Council's doomsday weapon, their final hope, was torn apart before it could fire. "Send the final message," Cooper ordered. Her words reached every surviving Council ship. "Look around you. Really look. Everything you see. Every satellite. Every defense platform. Even Earth's magnetic field itself was built for this moment. You never faced a primitive species. You faced one that simply let you believe you were superior." The remaining Council ships, barely a tenth of their original force, hung motionless in space. Their mightiest weapons had failed. Their strongest shields had proved useless. Their final gambit had been turned against them. "Your choice is simple," Cooper continued. "Surrender now, or we demonstrate what else our primitive world can do." One by one, the Council ships powered down their weapons. On her screen, Cooper watched High Admiral Rex slump in defeat as the greatest military force in Council history surrendered to the very world they had tried to quarantine. Earth's victory was complete, but for humanity, this was just the beginning of a new era in galactic history. Ambassador James Miller walked through the grand hallway of the former Council chamber, now renamed the Galactic Assembly. 3 months had passed since the Council's final defeat. The marble-like floors no longer displayed the Council's symbol. Instead, a new emblem showing a galaxy with interconnected stars marked the beginning of a new era. Today was the day humanity would reshape galactic civilization forever. Inside the main chamber, representatives from over 500 species waited. The former Council races sat in the same seats as everyone else now, their special platforms and elevated positions removed. Equality wasn't just a promise anymore, it was the law. Miller took his place at the speaker's podium. The same podium where, months ago, the Council had tried to quarantine Earth. The irony wasn't lost on him. "The terms of the new Galactic Charter are simple," he began, his voice carrying across the silent chamber. "No race shall claim dominion over another. All technological advancements will be shared. All species shall have equal voice in decisions affecting our galaxy." The room's massive screens displayed the complete charter. Miller watched as the former Council races shifted uncomfortably in their seats. They had no choice but to accept. Earth's victory had been total. Furthermore, Miller continued, "Earth will share all of its technological developments. Yes, all of them." This announcement caused a stir. Even Earth's new allies hadn't expected this. "Our gravity manipulation technology, our quantum weapons, our AI systems, everything." But he paused, making eye contact with various representatives. "This sharing comes with strict oversight. No technology may be used for oppression or conquest." The former High Admiral Rex, now just a regular representative of his species, stood up. "And who enforces these rules?" "Earth?" Miller smiled. "No. Display the enforcement protocol." The screens changed to show a new organization structure. "The Galactic Defense Force," Miller explained, "will be commanded jointly by representatives from all member worlds. Earth will have exactly 1 vote, the same as everyone else." This caused more murmurs, but of approval this time. Earth wasn't seeking to replace the Council as galaxy's rulers. They were truly breaking the cycle of dominance. However, Miller's voice hardened slightly. "Let me be perfectly clear. Earth maintains its independent defense capabilities. Anyone thinking of creating a new council, of trying to dominate others, will face the same response the previous council did. We will not tolerate oppression in any form. He gestured to his aide, who distributed data tablets to all representatives. These contain the full records of how Earth prepared for the Council's betrayal. For 30 years we studied, we planned, we built in secret, not because we wanted war, but because we recognized the signs of systemic oppression. The chamber was silent as representatives reviewed the data. Earth's incredible preparation, their hidden technological advances, their careful planning. It was all laid bare. We share this not to boast, Miller continued, but as a warning. Earth dedicated 3 decades to breaking the Council's power because they abused it. Remember this before anyone considers creating a new system of oppression. One by one, representatives stood to sign the new charter. Former enemies and new allies alike joined the new galactic government. Even the former council races, humbled but included, added their signatures. As the signing concluded, Miller made his final announcement. Earth opens its universities to all species. Our scientific institutions welcome researchers from every world. Let us advance together, as equals, into a new age of discovery and cooperation. The chamber erupted in applause. Not the fearful, mandatory applause of the council era, but genuine celebration. Hope replaced fear. Cooperation replaced domination. In his pocket, Miller felt his communicator buzz. A message from Earth Command. Final phase complete. New era begins now. He looked out over the chamber one last time. The mighty council that had tried to quarantine humanity now sat as equals among those they once ruled. Earth's revenge hadn't just been about military victory. It had been about reshaping the galaxy itself. As he left the podium, Miller smiled. The council had thought they were containing a primitive, violent species. Instead, they had provoked humanity into creating something unprecedented. A truly equal galactic civilization. The age of the council was over. The age of cooperation had begun. And this time, everyone would advance together, as equals, under the watchful eyes of the species that had dared to say no to oppression. Earth's greatest revenge wasn't destruction. It was creation.